The world of boxing, a world once defined by legendary rivalries and fierce competition, has seen its share of changes. With new landscapes, like crossover fights and extravagant locations like Saudi Arabia, it's become increasingly rare to see a matchup between two champions in their prime fighting on American soil. But on one fateful night, February 1, the unthinkable happens. Two undefeated warriors, David Benavidez and David Morrell, will square off in a high-stakes battle that promises to ignite the boxing world. The air is thick with anticipation, as all eyes turn to the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, a venue that has witnessed its fair share of iconic moments. The electric atmosphere is palpable, filled with the expectation that something monumental is about to unfold. It is a fight that could reshape the future of the 175-pound light heavyweight division. Benavidez, standing at 29-0 with 22 knockouts to his name, has already solidified his position as one of the best in the game. Ranked number 2 by the Ring magazine, he's a fighter known for his unrelenting style and power. On the other side stands the undefeated David Morrell, a young force who, with a record of 11-0 and 8 knockouts, is ready to take on the challenge of a lifetime. Morrell, currently ranked number 8 in the division, has made a name for himself with his sheer intensity and quick rise through the ranks. The stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just another title defense or a run-of-the-mill fight. No, this battle could determine who will move on to challenge Artur Beterbiev, the undisputed light heavyweight champion, for the ultimate prize in the sport. But there's a twist. Beterbiev's own upcoming fight with Dmitry Bivol will have a direct impact on the outcome of this night. If Bivol claims victory, we could see an epic rematch between two pound-for-pound titans. Regardless of that outcome, one thing is clear: the fight between Benavidez and Morrell is an event boxing fans can't afford to miss. As the clock ticks down to the night of the fight, there's no denying the tension in the air. These two men have been circling each other for months, with an intensity that's only grown as the fight nears. The rivalry is so heated that during a recent photo shoot, tempers flared, and Morrell threw his championship belt directly at Benavidez. The spectacle caught everyone's attention and added fuel to the fire, heightening the stakes and anticipation. And when the press conference rolled around just days before the fight, things only escalated further. Words were exchanged, voices were raised, and the energy in the room crackled with the kind of tension that only exists when two titans are about to clash. For boxing purists, the grudge between these two was a bonus and added layer of drama to an already thrilling match. But for the casual fan, it was the kind of spectacle that would surely push them to pick up the remote and make sure they're tuned in for every punch. The undercard is stacked as well, ensuring that fans will get their money's worth from start to finish. The fight between the two Davids is the main event, but it's far from the only exciting bout of the night. Joseph Benavidez Jr., the younger brother of David Benavidez and a former world title challenger, will take on Danny Rosenberger. Undefeated prospect Kermel Moton is back in action, taking on Frank Zaldivar in a matchup that promises fireworks. Jason Rosario, an experienced fighter with a reputation for brutal knockouts, will face Jesus Alejandro Ramos Jr., while Isaac Cruz and Angel Fierro will step into the ring for a battle that promises no shortage of intensity. But perhaps the most exciting undercard fight of all is the co-main event, a rematch between Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton. Figueroa, looking to avenge the only loss of his professional career, a majority decision defeat in November 2021, is poised to make a statement. Fulton, however, is no stranger to adversity, and with his only loss coming in an 8th-round TKO against the legendary Naoya Inoue, he's not about to hand over his title without a fight. The WBC featherweight title will be on the line, and both men are prepared to leave it all in the ring. But the fight night doesn't end there. The boxing world continues to provide thrilling matchups on the horizon. Just days after the Benavidez-Morrell fight, the world will turn its attention to Adam Azim vs. Sergey Lipinets, a showdown set to take place at the OVO Wembley Arena in London. Then, on Sunday, February 2, Claressa Shields will face Danielle Perkins in a WBO World Heavyweight Championship bout in Flint, Michigan. The drama continues to unfold as more of the sport's biggest names step into the ring, promising non-stop action throughout the month of February. Fans will be treated to a series of must-watch fights, including the WBO World Lightweight Championship match between Denis Berinchyk and Keyshawn Davis, and a highly anticipated showdown between Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza. And with the heavyweight division heating up, the world will also look forward to Artur Beterbievr's battle against Dmitry Bivol, a fight that will have serious ramifications for the future of boxing. The world of boxing is about to erupt, and at the center of it all is the February 1 fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell, a fight that will leave fans on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the next punch, the next round, the next twist in the story of two fighters desperate to claim the future of the light heavyweight division as their own. The tension inside the T-Mobile Arena is so thick, it feels almost suffocating. The lights dim as the crowd begins to stir with excitement, a wave of nervous energy rippling through the thousands of eager spectators who have gathered from all corners of the globe. The sound of footsteps echo down the corridors as the fighters prepare for the moment they've been training for their entire lives. Tonight is not just any fight night. It is a moment that will forever be etched in the annals of boxing history. David Benavidez and David Morrell, two undefeated warriors, are about to collide in a battle that will define the future of the light heavyweight division. Every punch, every move, every breath is about to be magnified on this monumental stage. Backstage, the air is thick with focus. Benavidez, calm yet determined, moves through his final preparations, his eyes sharp and unwavering. He knows what's at stake. This fight could be the key to securing a future clash with Artur Beterbiev, the undisputed light heavyweight champion. Benavidez has always been a force, but tonight, he faces an opponent unlike any he's ever met before. Morrell, with his unrelenting hunger and sheer raw talent, represents the next generation of boxing, a fighter whose time may be now. Benavidez's mind races through his strategies, his training, and his past victories. But deep inside, he knows that this fight will be different. Morrell's intensity is palpable, and Benavidez can't afford to underestimate him. He steps into the ring with the weight of his undefeated record on his shoulders, ready to prove to the world that he is indeed the future of the division. On the other side of the ring, Morrell prepares for the biggest night of his life. He's calm, but his eyes burn with a quiet fury. At just 26 years old, he's already made a name for himself as one of the most promising prospects in boxing, with a perfect record and an explosive style. His power and speed have earned him praise, but tonight, he faces a different kind of challenge. Benavidez is not only a seasoned veteran, but a fighter who has been consistently knocking down opponents with his sheer strength and relentless aggression. Morrell knows that to take down Benavidez, he will need to be smarter, faster, and more precise than ever before. Every move he makes in the ring will be scrutinized, every strategy carefully calculated. But the young champion is not intimidated. He's ready for this moment, ready to prove that he belongs at the top of the sport. The bell rings, and the atmosphere inside the arena becomes electric. The crowd roars as the fighters touch gloves, a brief, yet meaningful exchange that marks the beginning of a battle that will captivate the world. From the first moment, it's clear that both fighters are hungry for victory. Benavidez comes out strong, his fists thundering through the air with incredible power. He moves forward with the confidence of a man who has been here before, who knows the ring inside and out. Morrell, however, is not intimidated. He counters with swift, sharp jabs, his movements fluid and precise. The young fighter refuses to be pushed back, matching Benavidez's power with his own speed and technique. Each punch that lands sends a ripple through the audience, each exchange more thrilling than the last. The first few rounds pass in a blur, a mix of lightning-fast exchanges and calculated strategy. Benavidez is relentless, pressing the action with his trademark aggression, but Morrell shows that he is more than capable of holding his ground. The fight is as much a battle of wills as it is a contest of skill. Each man tries to impose his dominance, each hoping to land the punch that will change everything. But it's clear that this will not be an easy fight for either of them. The tension between them is palpable, and the crowd feeds off it, their cheers growing louder with each passing second. Morrell's fans are loud and vocal, urging their champion to rise to the occasion, while Benavidez's supporters remain confident that their fighter will prevail. As the rounds progress, the intensity only grows. There's an unspoken understanding between the two men, either is willing to back down, and both will push themselves to the brink to secure victory. But it is in round 6 that the fight takes a dramatic turn. Benavidez lands a crushing uppercut that seems to momentarily shake Morrell. The crowd holds its breath, watching intently as Morrell staggers, his legs wobbling for just a split second. But in that moment, something extraordinary happens. The young champion's resolve strengthens. He finds his footing again and counters with a combination of punches that sends a message to Benavidez: he's not going down easy. The fight has become a chess match, with each fighter analyzing the other, looking for openings, waiting for a mistake. Benavidez continues to press the action, while Morrell starts to shift gears, using his footwork and speed to keep Benavidez at bay. But even as Morrell's defense seems to tighten, the power of Benavidez is undeniable. Each punch he throws carries with it a sense of inevitability, as if he believes that eventually, one will land clean and end the fight. But Morrell's defense holds, and the rounds continue to slip by with both men standing tall, refusing to give an inch. As the fight moves into the later rounds, the fatigue begins to set in. Sweat pours down their faces, their breathing heavier, their bodies aching from the constant barrage of punches. Yet either fighter is willing to yield. The tension in the arena rises to a fever pitch, as fans cling to the edge of their seats, eagerly waiting to see which man will break first. But neither does. The fight becomes a testament to their wills, each round serving as a reminder of their determination to come out on top. With the final round approaching, the stakes couldn't be higher. The roar of the crowd seems to grow louder, as if they can sense that this is the moment when everything will be decided. One final push, one final exchange of punches, and the world will know who will reign supreme in the light heavyweight division. But as the bell rings for the final round, both Benavidez and Morrell are locked in, their gazes intense and unyielding. There is no turning back now. The fight is no longer about the title, it is about legacy, about proving who truly belongs at the top. And as the final bell rings, the crowd erupts into deafening applause, knowing that they've just witnessed a battle for the ages. The two warriors stand, exhausted but proud, their fates now in the hands of the judges. But no matter the outcome, one thing is certain: boxing has just witnessed a fight for the history books, and the world will never forget the night when David met David in the most electrifying contest the sport has ever seen. The tension in the arena is thick, the kind that grips your chest and makes your heart beat faster. The final round has come to an end, and both fighters stand in the center of the ring, drenched in sweat, their bodies battered and bruised from the grueling exchange. The crowd is on its feet, the roar of their cheers filling the arena like a thunderstorm. Everyone knows this is a fight for the ages, but now, it all comes down to the judges' scorecards. The atmosphere is electric, charged with anticipation. The two Davids have given it all, every ounce of strength, every moment of focus, every last reserve of energy has been poured into this one night. Benavidez's corner is tense, his team working feverishly to provide the final bits of advice as he stands, his fists raised in the air, still full of confidence despite the toll the fight has taken. He knows this battle has been an immense test, but deep down, he believes in his experience, in his power, in his ability to finish strong. His jaw is clenched, his eyes piercing as he watches Morrell, who stands just a few feet away, just as battered but no less determined. Morrell's corner is calm but intense, knowing their young fighter has done something special. Morrell, though exhausted, wears a fire in his eyes, a belief that this fight could very well be his to win. His fists are still clenched, his breathing ragged but steady as he stands poised, ready for the verdict. It's a moment frozen in time. Both men have showcased their skills, their strengths, their wills, and now it's all in the hands of those who've been tasked with making the decision. The minutes tick by agonizingly slowly. Every second that passes feels like an eternity. The silence in the arena is almost deafening, the once deafening cheers and shouts now replaced by a tense stillness, as though the crowd collectively holds its breath. Then, the announcement comes. The voice of the ring announcer breaks the silence, a voice that carries the weight of the decision every boxing fan in the world is waiting for. The lights seem to intensify as the announcement is made, and the crowd goes absolutely wild. The scorecards are revealed. There's a brief moment of suspense, where even the fighters seem to hold their breath, waiting for the verdict to hit. The judges' scores are read out loud, and the tension in the air is unbearable. Benavidez's camp erupts with cheers as the decision is announced in their favor. A unanimous decision for David Benavidez, the veteran, the power-punching warrior who fought with all the ferocity of a lion in the ring. The crowd goes wild in approval, but it's clear that this victory, while sweet, was not easy. The cheers for Benavidez are met with mixed reactions, but they're quickly overshadowed by the undeniable respect for both fighters. Morrell, while disappointed, holds his head high. He knows this fight was more than just a test of skill, it was a test of heart, and he proved that he belongs at the top of the division. Benavidez raises his hands in victory, his chest heaving with each breath, his face a mixture of exhaustion and pride. He acknowledges the crowd, pointing to the fans who've supported him from day one. The arena shakes with applause, a mix of admiration and exhilaration for the man who has just made another mark in the history of the sport. But there's no denying that his journey isn't over. If anything, it's only just begun. There's a new level of expectation for him now. The next step, as always, is clear. Artur Beterbiev is waiting. And in that moment, as the celebration continues, Benavidez can't help but think about what lies ahead. Morrell, meanwhile, stands at the edge of the ring, watching the celebration unfold. He's disappointed, yes, but there's no bitterness in his expression. He knows he's still young, still has room to grow, and there will be other opportunities. This fight, win or lose, was a turning point in his career. He's proven that he can hang with the best, that he can stand toe-to-toe with one of the most dangerous men in the division, and come out stronger for it. His time will come. The fire in his eyes hasn't dimmed, if anything, it's only grown brighter. He knows the road ahead is long, but this fight has given him something invaluable: experience. As the arena slowly empties out, the crowd buzzing with excitement, murmurs of future matchups fill the air. Boxing fans are already speculating on what comes next for both fighters. Will Benavidez take on Beterbiev in a fight that could define the next era of the light heavyweight division? Or will Morrell rise once again, stronger than ever, ready to prove that his journey is far from over? The speculation runs wild, but one thing is certain: this night, this fight, has solidified both men as pillars of the division. The future of boxing has been set ablaze, and there's no turning back. But for now, as the lights fade and the crowd filters out of the arena, both Benavidez and Morrell can only reflect on what was an unforgettable night, a night of raw emotion, thrilling exchanges, and an undeniable respect for the art of boxing. The story of this fight is far from over. In fact, it's only just begun. As the dust settles on the chaotic, electric night in Las Vegas, the implications of what just transpired begin to sink in. For those who witnessed the fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell, it was more than just a clash of two fighters. It was a pivotal moment in the sport, a turning point that will echo through the years. The glow of the arena lights may fade, but the story of the fight is far from over. Both Benavidez and Morrell have left an indelible mark on the sport, and the world of boxing is already shifting around them. Benavidez, despite his victory, is not allowing himself to bask too long in the afterglow of the win. In the quiet of his locker room, he's already thinking ahead. The cheers from the crowd still ring in his ears, but his mind is focused on the one challenge that has been lingering in his thoughts for months: Artur Beterbiev. The light heavyweight champion, the man who holds the key to the undisputed title, is now firmly in Benavidez's sights. The fight against Morrell was a step on the journey, but it's clear that the ultimate test is yet to come. Beterbiev's reputation as one of the most dangerous and dominant forces in boxing looms large. For Benavidez, that challenge represents everything he's worked for. It's a fight that could solidify his legacy or shatter it. And he knows it. As he sits in his corner, resting for a moment before his team starts to help him recover from the toll the fight has taken on his body, Benavidez can't help but think about the stakes. He's been on the rise for years, his name becoming synonymous with power and precision in the ring. But with each victory, the pressure only grows. Every fight has been building toward this moment, toward a showdown with Beterbiev, the undisputed champion who has yet to taste defeat. The magnitude of it all is not lost on Benavidez, and though he's learned to control his nerves, there's a flicker of doubt in the back of his mind. What if he's not enough? What if Beterbiev's power proves to be too much? Meanwhile, in a quieter corner of the arena, Morrell reflects on what went wrong. His loss is fresh, and the sting of defeat is still sharp, but it's not the end for him. In fact, it's just the beginning. He knows that his performance in the ring against Benavidez showed the world that he belongs at the highest level of boxing. There was no shame in the way he fought, in the heart he displayed, or in the way he continued to push forward despite the overwhelming odds. This loss, painful as it is, will only fuel his fire. Morrell is young, just 26 years old, and the loss to Benavidez, though hard to swallow, is something he can learn from. It's a stepping stone on his path to greatness, not a roadblock. For now, though, he has to regroup. He knows that his next fight could very well be a defining one. There are bigger names to conquer, bigger challenges to face. Morrell is determined to use this defeat as a lesson, to analyze every aspect of his performance, and to come back stronger. He's not the type of fighter to back down, not the type of man who lets one loss define his career. Instead, he sees it as an opportunity, a chance to refine his skills, sharpen his technique, and return with even greater intensity. The world of boxing continues to turn, with new storylines emerging and old ones growing more complicated. For Benavidez, the road to Beterbiev is paved with uncertainty and anticipation. The fight between the two could reshape the entire landscape of the light heavyweight division. If Benavidez can topple the champion, he will not only claim the title but will also solidify himself as one of the sport's brightest stars. But that's a big if. Beterbiev is no ordinary champion. The Russian powerhouse has bulldozed through every opponent in his path, with a combination of unmatched power and technical precision. Benavidez's victory over Morrell may have been convincing, but the true test is yet to come. As the months roll by, the rumblings of the fight between Benavidez and Beterbiev begin to grow louder. Fans, pundits, and fighters alike start to speculate on who will win, who will reign supreme, and who will walk away with the title of undisputed light heavyweight champion. Every interview, every training session, and every passing day seems to add more weight to the showdown. For Benavidez, the pressure is mounting, but he's used to it. He's always been the type to thrive under the spotlight. He knows that to truly be the best, he has to face the best, and Beterbiev is the pinnacle. There's no other option but to rise to the occasion. For Morrell, the road ahead is less clear. He'll need to continue proving himself against top-tier opponents, fighting with everything he has to rebuild and position himself for another shot at the title. There's no doubt that his hunger has only grown since the loss. Boxing is a sport defined by comebacks, and Morrell is determined to make his own. He's been through adversity before, and each time he's come out stronger. This loss will be no different. The fire inside him burns even brighter now, and it's only a matter of time before the world sees just how powerful that flame truly is. But no matter where the future leads, one thing is certain: the night of February 1 will never be forgotten. It was a fight that captured the essence of what boxing is all about: the struggle, the triumph, the agony, and the glory. Both David Benavidez and David Morrell have etched their names into boxing history, and their rivalry is far from over. The world will be watching as their stories continue to unfold, knowing that whatever comes next will be just as thrilling, just as intense, and just as unforgettable as the battle that brought them to the center of the ring. As the boxing world watches the aftermath of the legendary battle between David Benavidez and David Morrell, whispers of what comes next begin to fill the air. It's no longer just a fight between two contenders. This clash of titans has set the stage for an entirely new era in the light heavyweight division. With Benavidez's victory now in the books, the question that everyone is asking is, who can challenge him next? For some, the answer is obvious: Artur Beterbiev. For others, it's a question of time and timing, of carefully strategizing the perfect moment to strike. But for now, Benavidez stands atop the mountain, looking down at the long, steep road ahead. The title of undisputed champion is within his grasp, but the path to it is fraught with danger. Benavidez's team knows this better than anyone. The victory over Morrell, while impressive, is not enough to secure his place at the pinnacle of the sport. There is still the looming presence of Beterbiev, the undefeated Russian powerhouse who has proven time and time again that he is a force to be reckoned with. Beterbiev's combination of power, technique, and experience makes him an almost insurmountable obstacle for anyone who dares to challenge him. And yet, Benavidez feels the weight of destiny on his shoulders. He has worked his entire life to get to this moment, and he won't let Beterbiev stand in his way. But in the quiet moments of preparation, the doubts begin to creep in. Benavidez has faced tough opponents, yes, but none like Beterbiev. The Russian champion is a wrecking ball in the ring, his punches carrying the kind of power that can end a fight in an instant. Benavidez knows that he can't simply rely on his own strength and aggression. To beat Beterbiev, he will have to outthink him, outmaneuver him, and most importantly, outlast him. The strategy will need to be flawless, and the execution even more so. It's a daunting task, but it's the one Benavidez has set for himself. He isn't just fighting for the title, he's fighting for a legacy. And nothing, not even the monstrous Beterbiev, will stand in his way. On the other side of the equation, Morrell's path is a different kind of struggle. The loss to Benavidez, though devastating, is not the end of his journey, it's merely a detour. Morrell is still young, still learning, and most importantly, still hungry. The fire that burns inside him has only intensified since the defeat. While Benavidez is focused on the future and the challenge that lies in wait with Beterbiev, Morrell is focused on something else: redemption. He knows that a single loss doesn't define him, but how he responds to it will. The world is watching, waiting to see how the young Cuban will bounce back. Every move he makes now will be scrutinized, every fight will be a statement. He knows that if he's going to reach the level of Benavidez, he will have to go through some of the toughest challenges the sport has to offer. In the aftermath of the fight, Morrell's team begins to map out their next steps. There's no shame in the loss to Benavidez. In fact, it's a valuable lesson that will propel Morrell to new heights. His raw talent, his speed, his heart, they're all still there. The fight with Benavidez proved he can hang with the best, but now he needs to fine-tune his game. His next opponent will need to be someone who can test him, someone who can bring out the best in him. And once he has refined his skills, once he's faced and conquered the challenges ahead, the world will see the true potential of David Morrell. The loss will not be a mark of failure, it will be the fuel for his next great ascent. The boxing world is rife with speculation. Fans and pundits alike are eager to see what's next for both Benavidez and Morrell. Will Benavidez rise to the challenge of Beterbiev and claim the title of undisputed light heavyweight champion? Or will he fall short, unable to handle the immense power and experience of the Russian champion? And for Morrell, How long will it take for him to recover from the loss and emerge even stronger than before? The questions hang in the air, each more tantalizing than the last. One thing is certain, the light heavyweight division has never been more exciting, and the future is wide open. As Benavidez begins his preparations for the fight that could define his career, he reflects on the journey that has brought him here. It hasn't been easy, nothing in boxing ever is. The road to the top is paved with sacrifice, hard work, and countless hours of training. But Benavidez has always had the heart of a champion. His rise to prominence was never a fluke. He's put in the time, the effort, and the pain to get to where he is now. He's faced countless opponents, each one more dangerous than the last, but he's never backed down. This is his moment, and he intends to seize it with everything he has. The clock is ticking, and the countdown to the Benavidez fight begins. Benavidez's training intensifies, his focus becoming razor sharp. He knows that he's facing one of the most dangerous men in the sport, and every detail will matter. He pushes himself harder than ever before, honing his skills, refining his technique, and preparing himself mentally for the biggest challenge of his career. This is the fight that could define his legacy. He cannot afford to fail. But as Benavidez trains, Morrell is not far behind. He too is putting in the work, rebuilding, refining, and pushing himself to be better than he was before. His eyes are fixed on the horizon, on the future. The loss to Benavidez has only made him hungrier, more determined to reach the summit. Morrell knows that the road back to a title shot will be a long one, but he's not deterred. His journey is just beginning. In the end, the future of the light heavyweight division is unclear. Will Benavidez conquer Beterbiev and become the undisputed champion? Or will a new challenger emerge, someone who can dethrone the king? And will Morrell rise to take his place at the top, a new champion for a new era? The answers to these questions lie in the future, but one thing is certain, the world of boxing is in for one of its most thrilling chapters yet. The days leading up to the anticipated showdown between David Benavidez and Artur Beterbiev are filled with excitement and trepidation. The boxing world is on the edge of its seat, eagerly awaiting the clash of these two titans. Benavidez, fresh off his victory over Morrell, is ready for the next chapter in his career. The weight of the moment is not lost on him, but there is a quiet confidence in his demeanor, a belief that this is his time to shine. For years, he has been one of the most feared fighters in the light heavyweight division, and now, with Beterbiev in his sights, he's determined to prove that he belongs at the top. Beterbiev, on the other hand, stands as a formidable obstacle. The Russian juggernaut has made a name for himself with his devastating power and unrelenting style. Undefeated and unshaken, he has crushed anyone who has stepped into the ring with him. His reputation as a destroyer precedes him, and many in the boxing community are wondering if Benavidez has the tools to handle the pressure and power that Beterbiev brings. But the veteran champion is not complacent. Despite his undefeated record, he knows that Benavidez is a different kind of challenge. The Mexican fighter is fast, strong, and relentless, and he has the kind of heart that could push even Beterbiev to his limits. For both men, this fight will be more than just another championship bout. It's the culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and the dream of becoming the undisputed light heavyweight champion. The stakes have never been higher, and the tension surrounding the fight grows with each passing day. The entire division is watching closely, as the result will shape the future of the sport. For Benavidez, winning this fight would cement his legacy, making him one of the greatest to ever step into the ring. For Beterbiev, a victory would only add to his already legendary status, further solidifying his place in boxing history. But no matter how the fight plays out, one thing is certain, the world of boxing will be changed forever. The story of this rivalry, of these two fierce competitors, will be told for years to come. Their names will be etched into the history books, their fight analyzed and dissected for generations. Fans will debate the outcome, pundits will argue over every punch, and boxing enthusiasts will remember this moment as one of the sport's most exciting chapters. Meanwhile, David Morrell continues to prepare for his own eventual return to the ring. His loss to Benavidez was a tough pill to swallow, but it hasn't broken him. If anything, it has only made him more determined. He knows that the road to redemption will not be easy, but he's ready for the challenge. The hunger inside him burns stronger than ever, and he's committed to sharpening his skills and refining his approach. Morrell knows that his time will come again, and when it does, he will be more than ready. The loss to Benavidez is just another step on his journey, and he will use it to fuel his ascent back to the top. In the meantime, the boxing world remains fixated on the showdown between Benavidez and Beterbiev. The hype continues to build, with fans eagerly discussing the fight, each one weighing in on their prediction. Will Benavidez's speed and power be enough to overcome Beterbiev's iron will and devastating punches? Or will the Russian champion continue his reign of dominance, crushing all who stand in his way? The anticipation is palpable, and it's clear that this fight will be one for the ages. As the night of the fight approaches, both Benavidez and Beterbiev are in the final stages of their training camps. The intensity in their preparations is unmistakable. Benavidez is pushing himself harder than ever, knowing that the slightest mistake could cost him everything. He trains with a single-minded focus, preparing for the battle of his life. His team is tight-lipped, but there is a sense of quiet confidence. They know that Benavidez has what it takes to dethrone Beterbiev, but they also know that they can't underestimate the champion. Every punch, every movement, every moment of the fight will matter. Beterbiev, meanwhile, continues his own relentless regimen. His camp is just as intense, with the Russian champion showing no signs of slowing down. There is a cold, almost clinical focus in his eyes, a sense of purpose that drives him to push past every limit. He knows that Benavidez is his toughest challenge yet, but he is also aware of his own power, of the sheer force he can unleash when he's at his best. For Beterbiev, this fight is about more than just adding another victory to his record. It's about maintaining his dominance, proving that no one can stop him, not even a fighter as dangerous as Benavidez. The final days before the fight are filled with tension and excitement. The media is abuzz with predictions and analyses. Fans are torn, unsure of who to root for but equally eager to witness the clash between these two fierce competitors. Both fighters have a massive following, and the fight is sure to be one of the biggest boxing events in recent memory. On the night of the fight, the atmosphere is electric. The arena is packed with eager fans, all buzzing with excitement. The anticipation is so thick you could almost cut it with a knife. As the fighters make their way to the ring, the crowd erupts in cheers. The energy in the air is palpable, the kind of electric atmosphere that only a fight like this can generate. And then, it's time. The bell rings, and the world watches as Benavidez and Beterbiev step into the ring, ready to wage war. Each fighter is fully aware of the stakes, of the legacy they're fighting for. The punches come fast and furious, the tension in the air almost unbearable. Both men give it their all, either willing to back down. Every round feels like a battle of attrition, with each fighter testing the other's limits. As the fight rages on, the world holds its breath. The outcome is still unclear. Will Benavidez's skill and speed be enough to overcome Beterbiev's power? Or will the Russian champion prove once again why he's considered one of the most dangerous men in boxing? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the story of these two fighters, their rise to the top, and the epic showdown between them, will be remembered for years to come.